Welcome back to the Niceville Business Forum. I'm Domenica Farmer with Waste Management, and I have with me today Miss Lynn Stevens, who's with Okaloosa-Walton Childcare Services.
So good to be with you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Lynn. I do realize that Valparaiso Realty is sponsoring the second Wednesday breakfast for the chamber, for the Niceville Valparaiso Chamber, and each year it seems that they donate their time to Okaloosa-Walton Childcare Services.
They do. I've been on this show many times and been at your breakfast. They're so generous with us, and Terry Fedonzak, our board chair of many years, really supports us through this donation of Valp Realty's time to us.
Well, wonderful. Very good. It's a great organization, and we look forward to obviously today learning more about Okaloosa-Walton Childcare Services. So can you go into a little bit more detail?
Well, we are a child care resource and referral agency. And there are child care resource and referral agencies all over the state and the nation. And our major mission is to provide leadership and information concerning early childhood programs in the area that we serve. So we are the people that you might call to find out what to look for in a good early childhood program, or where are the early childhood programs near your area, and what are the credentials of the teachers, or what type of curriculum do they use, what hours are they open, those kinds of things. We are like the realtors of childcare. We have a database that we can put in all your parameters and give you referrals to go out and visit and choose a program for your child.
Well, Lynn, I sure could have used that when my children were little, because I did all that on my own and I wasn't quite certain what I was doing. So what a great resource and abundance of information that you and your organization have to offer. What services, you've touched on some of the services that you provide. Are there any others that you?
We do many things in basically Okaloosa and Walton County, but we also have one contract that spans Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton. Let me just mention our major focus is funding that we are contracted through the Early Learning Coalition of Okaloosa and Walton Counties, which is the board that has been appointed legislatively to oversee the expenditure of funds that come in for both voluntary pre-kindergarten and what we call school readiness, which used to be called subsidized child care. So we do all those services for voluntary pre-kindergarten and school readiness. Voluntary pre-kindergarten, as you may know, if you have children, you visited us if you had a 4-year-old. If your child is going to be 4 on or before September 1st of a year, that is their year for voluntary pre-kindergarten. And what we do is sometime in April, for the beginning of the next school year, we start issuing eligibility certificates for the next school year. And then we issue them all year. If you had a 4-year-old and you moved into this area and you wanted your child to begin voluntary pre-kindergarten, you would contact us in either county and come in, and we would check your residency, your Social Security information, or take the information, and your child's birth date. And then we would issue you a voluntary pre-kindergarten certificate that you would then give to the voluntary pre-kindergarten provider of your choice.
Now, is VPK fairly new?
It came out of legislation in 2002. And so we're way into it now, and we have among the best VPK programs in the state, as evidenced by the kindergarten screening, the kindergarten readiness rates that are done when children enter kindergarten. So it's an absolutely essential thing for your child to have some preschool or VPK experience prior to going to a kindergarten. It's hit the ground running in kindergarten these days.
Absolutely, and I know that in Okaloosa County we have some of the best schools, elementary, middle, and high school, so it's nice to know that children can start off at the age of 4 and that we are preparing them for a lifelong of good studious work.
And they don't become good students in elementary school not going in prepared. So that does point to just how strong our programs are and how important they are to choose the very best one you can for your child that meets your needs and your child's needs.
Fantastic. Lynn, what advice would you give to a family that's looking for a program for their child?
Well, first of all, I'd think about what type of child I have, what type of personality this child has. And then I would start visiting programs and try to think, how would my child relate in this program? Sometimes we as adults, we look at the decor, we look at the shininess, you know, those kinds of things are very attractive to adults. But children are interested in doing. They're interested in involvement. So look at the tone of the program, what's going on. Do you hear lots of children's voices and laughter, or is it a very highly controlled environment where you hear mostly adult voices where children are sort of not fully engaged? You also want to ask questions about the longevity of the staff, the qualifications of the staff. Do you click with that director of the program? This is a tremendously intimate service we provide for families. We take care of your most precious, precious child more hours of the day sometimes than the parents are able to. So it's a very, very important decision, and so often parents are in a hurry and they don't recognize until later that this is not a good fit and the child has to be transferred to another program. Then that is very disruptive to the child and their educational and emotional development.
I like specifically the proactive stance that you take and really determining, asking you know, these open-ended questions regarding the child and their background to make sure they are, you know, at the right location with the right, you know, resource with right, you know, teachers. So,
and the parents are the ones that make that choice. What we do is we give you quality indicators to look for. Some of the things I just mentioned, but more as well. And we even give you a checklist that you can take with you.
Well, I was just about to ask you, what sets you apart? I know you said a couple of criteria that set you apart from other businesses in the community. Are there other criteria?
Well, we are almost like part of the infrastructure of a community. Childcare is part of the foundation of the workforce. And so it's extremely important that parents, family members, and employers can depend on the consistency and quality of early childhood programs in their community. In addition to voluntary pre-kindergarten, we have school readiness, and school readiness is a funding source. It's called school readiness because it prepares children for school just as VPK does, whether they're infants or preschoolers, because every contact with education lays the foundation for future success in school. But school readiness, there are three main reasons you would receive funding assistance for child care through school readiness. One would be that you're a lower income worker, and you qualify through that, or you might get a referral from the Department of Children and Families for foster care, relative care, or protective service, or you might get one from Jobs Plus for welfare transition activities, and then as you go into employment, you would then go into our lower income category. But we're set apart because we are so much a part of the fabric of the community and the foundation of the educational program within a community.
Well, Lynn Stevens with Okaloosa-Walton Childcare Services, you have given us an abundance of information. I know for the viewers of this business forum and for Okaloosa County residents, thank you so very much for your time today. When we come back, we will have Gordon King with Okaloosa County Gas District.